Welcome to Trading Lounge and the indices. Just before we start, we've done a little bit of an upgrade on the Elliott Wave algo, not the AI, but the actual algo. So we're looking here at the triple Q here, and if we look at this particular structure in here, and I'll just take a look at the movement in here. So we've got two wave counts here for this, so I'll just click it to the next one. I can see that that's correct there, but at the same time we've got this new tool over here that will help you understand the actual structures. I won't go into it too much at the moment, but you can move through here and have a look at what we're building in here in terms of particular structures and their retracements and so on. Okay, I'll leave that at that. And and you turn it on down here. Okay, this is where you turn it on from at that point. Okay, so the SP 500 on the weekly chart here, we're looking from this low here, counting 5 waves up, or primary degree 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and between 2 and 3 we've got 5 waves of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So between wave 4 and wave 5 here, we're counting 5 waves in here. Now, over the last couple of sessions, we've been looking at different ways to count this. So I want to continue looking at these different ways to count it. It won't matter if we've got a few different counts, because the market is still heading higher. Now, we do have core CPI figures for the US coming out in the next session, so that could create some volatility on the intraday basis. And we've also got earnings coming out. So the bank earnings will start, I think it's July 12th as well. They'll start sort of flowing out. So yeah, just be mindful of those certain events. So from wave 4 here to wave 5 here, we're going to have a look at a few different ways to count this. But what I can say is that the move here that we're looking at to the upside is not finished. So if we go from weekly to daily here and pick it up from that wave 4, which is this wave 4 here, we're going to be looking at it in a couple of different ways. So we've got wave 4 here, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 1 and 2 here for this, and then we can also look at this as 1 and 2 here as well, and then we can also look at this as 1 and 2. And so because we're in a series of we're in the third wave here, the third of the third of the third, that means that the structure here could get quite strong here if that was indeed the case. Okay. Now, in terms of the trading levels, between 5,000 and 6,000 here, we've got the Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. And when we talk about 8, we talk about group 2. So group 2 is 65, in this case 5,650, and the 5,722 and a half, really, but who's counting? So this number here, this 5650, is the lower end of group 2. So it's really important, and it's important in the way that if it gets a tested support on that level there, then it's not going to be pulled back in any way back to the 500 here at this point. But if it was going to fail, it's going to fail at that particular number. Now, this is just one count here for this, so we're going to pick up this particular count in a few different ways. So we're going to go onto the intraday count here now. Just before we go though, what I want to do is, basically these counts, not in total, but they are driven by stocks and what they are doing. So we have been using Amazon here as a bit of a template. So from this wave 4 here, which would be this wave 4 over here, and we've got this wave 1 and 2 here. Now the timing for this one is not really that crash hot, but 1 and 2, because at the end of the day what I have to do is this primary wave 3 here, I have to bring stocks and indices into this, because once this wave 4 starts here, it's going to be a reasonable size, and that means that any stocks that are in this particular trend will be affected by that. So obviously there's different counts that can be had, to get to this particular point here. In terms of Amazon here, we've been looking from wave 4, so 1 and 2, and we're going up to wave 3 here, and then wave 4, and then wave 5 over here, and then that will be that primary wave 3 here. So basically we're just sort of herding all these stocks into that particular move there, and from 2 to 3 here we're looking for 5 waves of 1 and 2, and 3, 4, 5 here, and between 2 and 3 we're looking for 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm a little bit lost here, it's a bit squishy, there's a couple of variations that can occur there, but we don't have to worry about it. It will basically migrate from being support resistance to support, so we don't have to worry about that. But this count of 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and going up to 3 here, and in this wave 3 here, we can take that to Meta platforms, Facebook, so wave 4 here, and wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and going up into 3 here, and getting up into this, eventually getting up here into 3, 4 and 5 up here. Pay no attention to the prices up here, but this is the structure from 4 to 5 that we're heading towards. You will get stocks that are doing something a little bit weird, but we still need to bring them into that wave 3. So Tesla is another one where from the low here we've been looking at 1 and 2 here, and we'll look at 3, 4 and 5 up here. In this case, that's going to give us 5 waves up off the low here, 1 and 2 and 3 here. I won't go into a lot of detail into this trend here, but 4 and 5, and this will have the same timing of that primary wave 3, and then we'll have an ABC pattern. And if you want to buy a Tesla, well, then you can buy it here and move up into the 500 area at that stage. So even some of the stocks that are a little bit weird and out of place, we can bring those into that particular fold. Okay, so that's the strategy. How to count this up here, we know that the futures market on these markets trade in the off hours, so they can move along a little bit, so we need to take the SPY and the QQQ and so whatnot and the other ETFs into consideration as well. But so this is one way to count it to the upside, and if indeed this was the case here, then this would push up to here, and the worst thing that could happen is come back to the 5,500 or the 550 on the SPY, so that's the worst that could happen. So basically we need to stay long, and if we go to the intraday on the 20 count here, this is another way to pick it up here as 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 up here. Like I said, we could pull back to the 500 here at worst before sort of heading off here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 5 and 8, the Fibonacci numbers, and when we talk about Fibo as a price ratio, we look at 5,650. I won't go into the reasoning of that, but you will see that play out, and then 522 in here for group 2. So it's about this number here becoming the support or the resistance at 56.50 at this point. The other way to count this here would be to look at it slightly differently. This way we could look at it as 1 and 2 here. Before we had this wave 1 up here, now we got it here, and then 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5 up here for the third wave and the fourth wave, which is not too bad, because really that sort of fits in with Amazon here. I could put this, it's a bit squishy in here, and that's what happens at large numbers, attracts large orders. I could put that in there like that, Otherwise I'll just want to see if I need to push it up, because all that could be 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 up there and finish off, So there's a few variations on that, but the main point here is we're getting close to that 3 there. So this will be the same sort of thing here, and it could also pretty much do the same thing as well. It could, move up here, and then eventually move back into this point. Now, this was the low on this market, on the SPX. This was the low here, but on the NASDAQ we could bring this across over to here and then look at this as 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 up here. So it's slightly different and a bit further up into that group 2 area there. So some variations on that, and we can see that in terms of if we go from 10,000 ticks. I don't know if I've got anything on 5. I won't worry about it too much, it'll bore you to death. But so what do we got here? So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could look at this as 1 and 2 here, coming up into that 5650 sort of area here. I don't know if I need to put that on there. 1, 2, 3. I'll just have to check on that. We could probably put that there and look at this as some sort of thingy bob here and something up here for this and this, something of this nature here. But this is a bit, don't worry about that 3 there, that shouldn't really be there at this stage. But anyway, like I said, the worst thing that could possibly happen is that we come back to this number here. I don't really think that's the case. We probably in here somewhere. We'll see what those CPI figures are going to do. This is the SPY here. So in this case, we could also put this. No, I've got to bring it. I've got to keep it here because the SPX made that low there, the cash market, you know. But that will have the same problems. That will react at that 565 for this market. And in a bit of a nutshell, we can put wave 1 here and 2 here. Well, I don't particularly like wave 1 here. I'd rather put it here. So we could do that at this particular point here as well. We could put this up here. We could also put wave 3 up here. There's a few different ways of doing things, so I'm not really going to play it out too much. All I can say to you is hold long, and as this trend is not completed to the upside. Come over to the NASDAQ, and this is the daily chart here. I won't go into the weekly chart. So in this case here, if I just remove that, that's pointless. We could look, because the SPX made a low on this one here, but on this one we could bring it over to here. There is a good case to put this over here as well, by the by, you know, because that little move up here doesn't really, you know, counts better as a corrective move than an impulse wave. But for the point here is that we could view this as 1 and 2 here, and then coming up for 3 and 4 and 5 at that point, and then having this here and then moving up. If it is just here, then we'll have to bring that down to this point, but that's a little bit small compared to this wave 1 here, so we need to lift that up a little bit further. So like I said, there's different ways to count this to the upside. The main point is that it will continue to the upside. See, I can't put wave 3 here because it won't suit stock, and this is too short against this one here. Maybe I could build it, like I said, from this point, but that's also not in line with stock. So it's stocks that really have the dominant role over all of this, so I've got to basically stay with that. So that's that. If I just go into the 20k tick here for this, so this is from this little area here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 going up here into the group 2. The worst case scenario is that it can come back to the 20,300 here on that. So we have some positions in this market, so we're just going to allow that to play out. And you don't need to be Einstein, you know, with every trend there's a beginning, there's a middle and an end, and this here is 1 and 2s in here, and now we're getting into, you know, 4s and 5s here. The question is that if we look at this as wave 1 here and and wave 2 here, then we would need to look at this as wave 3 here and wave 4 here, and that would give us at this point, let's just assume a top there, that would give us a 38.2% retracement level at that point. Would it come back that far? Don't know. I mean, we could look at these wave 4s here. These are the previous wave 4, so it may just come back into that space, but I'd rather give you the bad news rather than the good news. So yeah, that's sort of that really. But the trend is still to the upside at this point. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Remember that the that the SPX has got this as the low here, so we've got to put it in as wave 4 over here, and the SPX also made a top above this one here as well. So, and this one here, when you look at it, it's sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for an A wave here, a B wave, B wave in here, I guess. And then, you know, it's we could look at this as 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't count that well as an impulse wave. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's better on the triple Q. I don't know. We'll have a bit of a look. This is the triple Q here. This is counted in a slightly different way as well. This is actually this works as well. This is wave 4 here, and you know we want to be going up to this wave 3, 4, 5 up here for this. And then 4 and 5 over here, so to speak. So we still got more to go to the upside. We don't have to worry about it, but the triple Q will play out across this. We'll spend time rather at the 500 above and below. So if we've got wave 4 here, we can look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we put wave 4 over here, which is quite valid as well, then we can put this wave 5 over here. It doesn't matter. Either way, we're going to get some consolidation around that large number at this point. And of course this could be counted differently here. We could put wave 1 up here, and we could put this wave 1 up here as well, all that sort of stuff. So I'm just sort of, I like to try to think outside the box a little bit and look at, keep, while we know that the market's going up, so we're not lost. We know exactly where we are, and we need to be holding long to go further up. But at the same time, it's good to not fall asleep at the wheel and have a look at this and have a look at that and keep tuning things in and keep working with things. So, yeah, I did want to have a little look at this here while I'm here. This counts a bit better as 5 waves on the triple Q here. I should have a look at the XLK as well on that. Let's just go in here to 200 ticks and just see if we can look at that here a bit better. We could even go into 100. I'm just doing this for myself because, where are we in here? This one here. Oh yeah, it looks a bit better as 5 waves here, doesn't it? 1 and 2. Still a bit tricky to get 5 waves in here. I mean, it's better as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as an A and a B and a C. And this is a good case for, is it a good case for 5 waves here as, oh, you can get an A, B, C out of that too, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2. Doesn't count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. So it's the A wave to here, actually, the A, the B and the C, yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit tricky, isn't it, to get these things working. Anyway, I won't burn up your time on that. And then we come over to the Russell, and even the Russell is starting to make a move, the lazy dog. So yeah, well that's good. You can, whatever you do is you just need to keep the stop under here really. Because if this little A, B, and C is breached at that point there, then we're going to come down further. So technically, looking at this, we would normally go long above this top here. You could go earlier than that as well. This here is, when you're looking at this here, this would be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. So it's going to push up here. So we're going to kind of get some sort of, if this is true, then we're going to get 5 waves up to here somewhere, and we're going to get some sort of ABC back in here, and then we're going to go up again. So you just have to hold your skirts there, boys, and don't panic. And this, the DAX. So just the bigger picture on the DAX here. I was looking at this on the algo here, on this one here. So just don't need that. So yeah, so from here we've got 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So 4 and 5 here. So this wave 4 didn't pull back to this wave 4 here, so there is space to do that, but it is looking bullish, and I have been viewing this here as a bearish case and a bullish case, and it is today looking a little bit bullish, so we have to run with the wolves on that and look at that here. So from this low here, we've had this as wave 1 before and wave 2 here, so that's quite possible, because it hasn't really ended in 5 waves down here. It's just in 3 waves. I mean, you could probably WXY it, but let's just assume for the moment that it's a possible wave 4 low here and a possible wave 4 low over here. We do have 5 waves up here, and we do have now, because of that move up here, we can look at this here, just bear with me a second, as the A wave, the B wave, and we're seeing the FTSE in the Australian market. So we're seeing all its counterparties doing the same thing here. That was the 61.8% retracement level we're looking for. So this here is going to give us the same sort of thing here as well. It'll probably be something like this and then a push up, or the other side of this will be like this here, and then push up here across that 5 here. So in a nutshell, you could just go long where we are here now. But you need to keep the stop. Whatever you do, you'll need just to keep the stop well out of the way here. Okay, so so you could get a better price. You could get a worse price. So I would sort of maybe even look to get a small, if I was doing this and I didn't want to hold the heat, I would just I'll put a thin line there for a part position. So if you normally trade 3 contracts, which you kind of should, well, it depends on how much money you got, I guess, but folks that open accounts with, you have to get the numbers right to be able to trade. You need to know your numbers, and it's okay opening an account for $1,000 or whatever, but you're going to lose it. So you've got to put it down to an education. You've got to get to the point where you've got a decent amount of capital and you're risking 1% of your capital per trade, and you're doing all those sorts of things right. But anyway, we won't go into it at the moment. So the other thing here is at the 18.5 here, we want a classic trading levels pattern to move on this. So this is what we're really looking for. If this is the 18,500 here, we'll have the arrival soon enough, and then we'll have this and this. Now, this could be normally this is wave 3, 4, and 5, and then an ABC pattern, and then we've got wave 1 and 2. But it can be that we have wave 1 here, and 2 here, and 1 here, and 2 here, and then 1 and 2. Anyway, we wait for the first high above the level, then drop it as a you don't know where the high is until it drops back, but it will retest it. So that becomes the first trigger that we hardly ever use, and then we come down to this trigger, and then we start working it on this level here. This little pattern in here will be a smaller fractal pattern of this bigger pattern in here, so it'll be the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC in here. So that's kind of what you're looking for in there. But yeah, so this now is shaping up. So the only other change here is we could put this wave 1 here and have this as a wave 4 low in here. But I kind of like it like this. It kind of puts me back in, because with the SP500, we're looking at this particular wave 3 up here. So this will be a good trade. We want to kind of keep building into this. We want to be building on top of the 19. Here as well. We want to be looking up at the 20 up here somewhere, that's where we'll be looking. I'll have to lift. I can see what I can do here. Yeah, sorry. It's hard being an idiot, I have to say. So we'll put that there and that there. And then we'll just shift this across over here, and we'll put this over to here and so on. So we'll do it that way. I'll tidy that up later. Sorry about that. But that's where we are, looking good, ready to go. Okay, so that's the DAX. The FTSE also, we've got wave 3 over here. So we'll look at this as the A, the B, and the C wave here. You could look at it a little bit differently. I get it. We could have the A wave here with an A and a B and a C. I get it. We're going to keep this wave 4 in here. We'll probably put this over to here now. I notice that I did the wrong thing, and we'll put this here, and we'll put this probably over here somewhere. We'll look for 5 waves up here. This is the same thing here as well. Basically, you just need to be looking to, Let's just move that out of the way. We don't need to do that just yet. But getting a position in here somewhere. This would be wave 1 and 2. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the third wave here. I don't know if that's quite finished yet. Then there'll be the little fourth wave here, so we'll put that in there. Then there'll be a fifth wave coming in here somewhere. So that will push up there, and then we'll come back here. Probably won't come back that far, but or be as that big as well, but we'll look for something like that and you go along. So we can look for that ABC pattern over here and continue to build in over here on this, okay? So that will be that. We'll put that over there for that, and that's a bit small, but yeah. I mean, obviously we need to remove these, put them, lift them a different size. But yeah, looks like we can be on the way now, finally. So the DAX and the FTSE and any other markets that are in the same boat could start to move really quickly in this leg over here, okay? So we really want to be on the ball over here to get a few positions somewhere in here. And of course, we just keep the stop out of the way. We don't want to be stopped out of this at this point, but don't overtrade as well. We'll get it to fall into place, and we'll sort of back the truck up over here and start dumping some cash into it at that point, because this is where it will move up. This has got a lot of catching up. These markets got a lot of catching up to do. Okay, so for the Australian market, just on 1,000 ticks here. Yesterday we talked about going long above this here. We also talked along about going in here on the 2 and all the rest of it, but I won't worry about that. So we've got this situation. We've got either a triangle, or we've got this particular 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. This 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 business extends into a bigger picture. We'll go and have a look at that in a moment. It looks like this is 1 and 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we could probably put this here, but that's just a little bit short here as a third wave compared to this wave 1 here. Do you know what I mean? So this will be 1 and 2, and then this is 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. So really want to see this up here further, but at the same time, at the 7, 9, we should see some sort of little movement across here. So try to get in here again. If you're a short-term trader, sure, get out at 8,000, and normally I would. If you're going to go sort of long here, then we could lift this up. We could lift it up just under here. That shouldn't be breached. But I'm just a bit sort of frightened that this might be a situation where we get this as wave 1 and 2 in here again. And those core CPI figures, I want to get past those as well. So it could be a 1 and 2 in here on this, Yes, well, my platform is just resetting at 7:58, but I just want to try to get into into the bigger picture here. So we're going to go to the daily chart, and this is where we're at here at the moment. So we can put that in here. So we've got 3 and 4 here. Now this count with having 4 here would be in line with the US markets, and that's 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So this should really sort of move along here nicely, So we don't want to get out at 8. We'll get higher than that. But on if we follow the European market, then we'll be on the 20K here. We'll look at this slightly differently. That means that we need to go back to the old situation, and we could put this over here on this. That would give us that could go over to here. Mind you, I sort of prefer that there. And then this would be something like this here, and we could even, I've got to think this out a bit further, but this would be in line with the DAX at this point, which is okay, a little bit ahead of the FTSE, but we could view it like this here. So so wave 4 being here or being over here, something that we need to sort of resolve a little bit. But all we were waiting for was the first high above the level, and then a pullback, and then going long at that point, So we could have gone long above this one, and this one, but they didn't push back up, This one pushed back up, so we got that. So that's well done if you've got that. Well, that's enough waffling. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.